Yeah, here. We're fine. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Get in the Garage.
We're a music podcast.
For music lovers.
Wow.
Hello, Luke. How are you today?
I'm all right.
Doing okay?
Yeah.
You feeling it?
I'm all right.
Yeah. Another day. Luke and I had to work today, so we're feeling that post-work exhaustion.
Yes. Usually you get us on like a early morning day off.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting, when it's usually me and Michael here, you're going to get the afternoon late night vibe. I don't know why I said that. That wasn't good.
No, that was okay.
After late night vibe? What are we doing over here?
Get in the garage after dark. Turn on that mosquito lamp, because we're going to be in the garage late tonight. I'll toss you a Budweiser and put on some Bob Seger. We're in the garage tonight.
The boys are in the garage. They're out back.
Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah, it's like that. Even though we're in the basement, so joke's on everybody.
Joke's on everybody.
So...
Welcome to this music podcast.
Welcome to Music Podcast. I want to start off this episode and do a bit of music news.
Music news.
This just in, the 2022, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees have been officially announced.
It's pretty exciting. I mean, is it exciting though? I say it's exciting. Let me just say, I'm not that excited, but like, I'm also excited.
It's exciting to criticize.
Yeah. So
I shouldn't say criticize. Maybe criticize is too harsh, but analyze.
Are we recording?
Yes, we're recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But it's like fun to like. I don't know. See, I like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We'll get into it. So why don't we get off and just like tell us who's getting inducted this year?
Okay, so as
this has been a Get in the Garage tradition every year. We've talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
We have, yes.
We've talked about the Rock Hall, what we think it means, all that fun stuff. So, drumroll, please. Let's.
Okay, so in normal, what seems to be Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction sort of announcement styles, right? I find you have a tendency to have like sort of like the names at the top are the ones that are probably going to be more heavily featured, like tribute, like some artist will come out and do a tribute to that person or something like that, like Kennedy Center Award style. And then you have other ones who are also honored and they do a thing, but it seems like they kind of have like big names that they really concentrate on.
Right.
I'm not quite sure what the, because you have some pretty big names, but you have some pretty huge names too. So we start off with Pat Benatar, Duran Duran, Eminem.
Yep.
Hold on, let me keep scrolling here. Also, it's Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo.
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure.
Yep.
Jade might know that one. Eminem, I said. Eurythmics.
A group we talked about on last week's podcast.
We did, yes. Dolly Parton.
Long overdue.
Lionel Richie.
Pretty good.
Carly Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Judas Priest. Come on.
Oh, Judas Priest. I'm like, yeah, rock on.
Yeah.
Judas Priest for a lot of reasons, and now I agree with that one wholeheartedly.
Yes.
So we'll get into that.
Yes. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
I'm not familiar, but if you read me what it is, I probably might be.
So Jam and Lewis created a production company, recording studio, and signature sound responsible for, quote, making an artist's career, the songs and sounds that stick with fans forever.
Who knows?
I'm not quite sure. Alan Grubman, founder of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is this guy just jerking himself off? Like, come on, what are we talking about
I was
here?
just going to ask you if that was kind of a circle jerk move, but let's
God,
continue.
all right. Yeah, he changed the music business. He has represented rock and roll's biggest stars, Bruce Springsteen, U2, Sting, John Mellencamp, and so on.
Are those rock and roll's biggest stars or rock and roll's most cornfield, adjacent musicians?
I mean, you have Bruce Springsteen, U2, Sting.
Cornfield, okay, U2 is the only one that
John Mellencamp, Madonna, Lionel Richie, Elton John, Lady Gaga, and many more. We don't know who the many more are.
Okay.
Jimmy Iovine, he was...
Big double thumbs up.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy Iovine was...
Interscope Records.
Yes, but he was also John Lennon's engineer. And then he went on to produce John Lennon, Tom Petty, there's another big one from the 70s that he broke.
I'm not quite sure.
Patti Smith, Patty Smythe, however you pronounce her last name.
Okay.
Her as well.
Okay. Sylvia Robinson, label executive, producer, songwriter, rapper, and original hip hop mogul.
Cool. Not familiar, but
She co-founded Sugar Hill Records.
Okay.
And propelled
yeah.
an unknown subculture into the
I do
mainstream,
know.
setting the stage for rap to grow into the most lucrative music business of today.
I do know who that woman is. I have seen her on VH1.
Okay.
Elizabeth Cotton.
Elizabeth Cotton.
Famous folk musician.
Yeah.
Also, you guys mocked me when I said this, but she is the innovator of the cotton picking style guitar, the claw hammer kind of thing. Elizabeth Cotton, one of my favorite musicians of all
And
time.
it appears to be a left-handed guitar player as well.
Yeah, Elizabeth Cotton is one of the greatest folk musicians.
And then we have Harry Belafonte as well.
Yeah, man, Calypso.
Yep.
Beetlejuice is a great movie.
Beetlejuice is a great movie. I'm looking at
all jokes aside. You can buy the Hall of Fame inductees T-shirt
Yeah,
available now at rockandrollhallofFame.com.
Yeah, to sponsor us.
Pay me, guy that got in.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? I know. So
okay, so those are your inductees.
Those are your inductees
year.
for this year.
We kind of scrolled through them. On the big front there. Let's go down again.
Okay, so all right, so
maybe feel our feelings. Pat Benatar. I feel like great voice, great pop. Before we do this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame means. So, do you think like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like means anything?
Yeah.
Do you?
Do I think it means anything?
Yeah, or do you think it's just like because I'll tell you how I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Lay it on me, and then I'll
I think it's
I'll
like
try to...
it's basically like the second act career boost. And it's in a big way. Will give you like a good lucrative tour again. It'll give you a lot of great press.
Sure.
You can really rally your career around it
Yeah.
in like a big way. Like Kiss definitely got a lot. They got the Rolling Stone cover from it finally. When they got in the Rock Hall. A lot of bands like Kind Baby reunite. There's like a lot of this, a lot of that. So like when the Stooges got in, it was a big deal because like the industry finally was like, hey, the Stooges. And then the Stooges get on these. They've already went on this big tour, but you know what I'm saying.
It's interesting because when you like look at it, right? Like there's a lot of bands or artists or something where you're just like, you know, you look at like the Beatles, right? So the Beatles as the band has been inducted, and then like every member separately has been inducted as well.
No, not Ringo.
Ringo hasn't been inducted.
Oh wait, did Ringo get in last year?
Ringo
wasn't.
I think
he is now.
Yeah.
So continue.
Maybe. The point being is like on one end you go, well, they can only induct so many every year. There are thousands of popular artists spanning all different genres. You know, so in due time, I suppose, you know, it's just like us, right? Like we talk about bands, right? We talk about music and all that stuff. You know, there's certain things that we haven't covered that seem like an obvious thing to cover. We just haven't gotten to them yet.
Right.
Do you think that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is more that kind of thing where you look at certain artists and bands and so on that are not inducted where you're like, oh, these are obvious choices though, why wouldn't they be inducted yet? Do you think it's because they haven't gotten to them yet, or do you think, which is in part what I think, which is like this is just kind of like this other elitist frou-frou, you know, kind of bullshit?
Well, it's two. It's two at the same time.
You think it's both?
Well, one, I think in the 2000s, like, let's also talk too, like, this was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame initially.
Yeah.
And now it's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anymore.
Yeah, right.
It
right.
is the Pop Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's like for anybody that's like angry, if you want your own guitar Rock Hall of Fame, that's what that should be. Do your own.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
We all know that guitar band. We all know what we're talking about when we say that we're talking about guitar, bass,
Yeah, of
and
course.
drums.
Yeah.
In the style of the Beatles.
Classic, right? The classic sort of lineup.
Yeah, it's the Beatles lineup. So that's what we're talking about when like rock and roll. But like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is more of like the Pop Music Hall of Fame because you have a pop artist in there, you have rappers, you have all this kind of
You
stuff.
have folk artists, you have
Right. They're starting to be more inclusive, especially like you know, I mean like somebody like Elizabeth Cotton, who is a black female folk musician. So, you know, it's not saying I'm not saying that's pandering by any means. I'm saying that's, like, well-deserved. She's one of the greatest guitar players that's ever
For
lived.
sure. I think the thing that we're, like, really asking us here is, like, is calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame really an accurate sort of descriptive title?
Okay, so like for
You
for the most people's nomenclature, we're dorks, so we get what they're saying at this point, and like we understand it. I think maybe they're like the branding of it needs to come out harder. Of like we're inclusive of all music, rock and roll is just like how we start. I think they should come out and this is what I really think at this point. Now that I'm thinking out loud, they should really change it to the Pop Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because if you call it the Pop Music Hall of Fame, then it is all inclusive,
right? And then we can
because
have
pop really is popular music, not like
the reason
bubblegum.
why people are being dissatisfied with this has been a struggling enterprise for a couple years now. And then like I think why this is happening is because too it's like people are turned off because it's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame who used to tune in for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They used to tune in for like Jeff Beck and that Metallica, them all doing like Train Kept a Rolling. That's rock and roll. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's Aerosmith too, I think is in there. Look up that video; it's pretty cool. But it's not. It's really bad, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
But like. This is what I'm talking about. Is just like now it's kind of like if it was pop music, I think it would rebrand it and give it like another life and really give it another meaning and what it truly is now. So I like the idea of it. I think it but it does gatekeep a little bit. But also now with all the artists kind of getting included the way they are, it's kind of stepping away from that. Like the biggest gatekeeper moment was like it was when the Ramones got in for like that was like one of the bigger moments I can think of. They were one of the first outsider bands to get in. That was like because the Ramones were industry blackballed for the longest time,
which is baffling to me though.
No hit singles, no.
When I listen to the Ramones, dude, my brain is like Chuck Berry. Like I don't even like, and it like to me, it's so classically rock and roll.
Okay, well let's talk to why you might think that though is because when they got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that's a big push. Then you have Joey Ramone Street on, I think the street CBGB's is on is named Joey Ramone Street or something like that. It's the rebranding of the artists, and now you can go get a Ramones T-shirt at Target. Maybe not, but like
or Kohl's.
But like that's
I know what you mean.
Is like that now they have like a good legacy brand. Everything's on point. They're on with the industry. The industry sees that it's a viable act that was worth its salt, and it really gets their kick. So
it's a tough tug and pull, though, isn't it? Because you look at it and you're like, like this can be a really, really good thing for specific artists and bands. But it can also just be like the stroking ego elitist thing for other artists,
Take Steve Miller, who was inducted by the Black Keys, complained about it. It was like, I don't know these guys. Why can't you have one of my peers induct me?
Yeah.
This seems stupid. And that was like they were like trying to give it to Steve Miller, but like he didn't really take like a big like push off the Rock and Roll. He just got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And then it's like it wasn't like a memorable one. We're like, Kiss was memorable for people because Kiss was blackballed by the music industry and like
much to Eddie Trunk's chagrin.
And the music press, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, everyone's like, "Oh, well, we were in on the joke. We're in the joke. Like we know Kiss is like tongue in cheek," and we're like, "Yeah, duh. Like,
right.
Come on, guys.
Right.
Like yes.
You don't dress up like a fire breathing, blood spewing demon and be like, this is real profound art. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, man.
They're not making the Sistine Chapel, bro. They're fucking,
So, like, that's where it's at. You know what I mean? And, like, it does give, like, some kind of artist some kind of legitimate stances, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you didn't silence your phone for the pod.
I did not.
Leo Bio. Wait, Leo Bio. Luca Bazooka. Sorry.
I'm not your son. You just called me.
Oh, my God.
Name.
See, I'm in dad mode right now.
It's got baby baby dad
I have
brain.
baby brain.
Sorry, guys.
But no, I know what you're saying, and well, to go on, right? Okay, so we have somebody who, like, I've spoken about on the podcast before in the past. You have somebody like Eminem, who I feel like has kind of fallen out of favor, maybe with like a younger hip hop rap listening audience.
Eminem's dad rap now because we're all dad age,
right?
You just said it.
Yeah,
you
right.
You just said it out loud.
He's like dad rap.
Well, you're a dad.
Yeah.
You like Eminem.
Yeah.
And you're dad rap.
He's a dad. Yeah.
It's like Jay-Z's kind of dad rap too, right?
Yeah, he can be. Yeah, he is to an extent, but
like
Jay-Z,
the young
because
kids know him. But like,
I mean, they all try to change with the times, rather. But the thing is that like, this stuff mostly connects to people of my generation for sure.
I think Eminem pops pretty hard. He's a great artist.
Dude, the thing is that
like
literally, listen, Eminem, I'm not a huge fan of like anything beyond the first two. Well, technically the second and the third, because there was a first album, but I don't count that. I'm sorry.
the Slim Shady.
So there was one that was right before that where like his style wasn't
about.
completely like Eminem quite yet. I forget the name of it. Leave it in the comments below if you know. But yeah, the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP, like those two albums, although looking back, you know, the lyrical content didn't really age very well. But the thing is that I don't think the point of it was to, you know what I'm saying?
They were just innovative. Also,
in a way that was just like he was somebody who like it's like raunchy comics. It's like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like shock rock. It's all that embodiment where it's like it wasn't necessarily the content of the words as much as it was to say like look at this word salad I can put together. Like, how crazy is this?
Yeah. So you're saying like besides the words, he's also a very talented rapper. Like he's on the top of his game on like every album. Like his rhyming is like and his
freestyling is bar none. Like he's one of the greatest lyricists of all time. Like
to the point.
If you disagree, I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
And to the point of he's bringing I don't know. Like I kind of think like in the way like. I think he spoke to a lot of, poor white kids. I don't know how to really say it, like, in a nice way, but, like,
well, two things happened. Eminem spoke to, like, the legitimately, like, poor white kids, but
that were just like him, poor and white.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's why, like, Eminem popped for a lot of people, because, like, you didn't have, like, a rapper that was, like, that was white and, like, you know, who was poor and, like, said, like, what it was like to be poor and white.
And was good at it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Good at it.
Yeah.
Listen, lots of white rappers have come and gone.
Yeah, that were not good before that.
That were
like
not
Vanilla
that great.
Ice, because there's no substance in it.
Right, exactly. You know, but Eminem was raw and real and
full
unapologetic and full of, and also, like a crazy, like, pill addict and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
well, I didn't mean that.
Okay.
I meant like the raps have like substance. Like
I know what you mean though. Yeah,
like
he has chops. It's like watching a great guitar player. You know what I mean?
Like he does the first two albums and comes out with that third one. I mean, now we're down the Eminem rabbit hole. Like, you know, blow the train whistle. But like the Eminem like
show.
White America, like the kickoff track of the Marshall Mathers. I mean, like he was just putting it back in your face. He was like, yeah, I know. Guys, I know. Like, you know, it was just all that good stuff.
Yeah. So Eminem, I think well deserved. The Eurythmics. This is Jeff territory.
This is Jeff territory. I think definitely. I always kind of think like when I think of the Eurythmics, I always like think like obviously kind of not being used thing, but I always think like way more English. Like it's, you know what I mean, more of like an English sensibility. But great band, innovative. I like them when it's on. Cool, right on. I think they are the top of what they do in that, like the 80s, like synth pop medium. They were like the top of the game of that. Like all those singles are way better than a lot of other artists of the period. Yeah. So I agree.
Moving on, Dolly Parton.
It's not that we don't think like that's like less important than Eminem. It's just like we are more to talk about Eminem, so we'll do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, you know, we're not like shortchanging that, but Dolly Parton, I so agree with Dolly Parton. Please look up the Dolly Parton podcast series. I can't remember the name of it, but if you search up Dolly Parton podcast, Mike's going to pull it up right now. Dolly Parton is one of the greatest musical figures ever. She has done more for and women. That's the podcast right there. She's done more for women.
Dolly Parton's America.
Yeah, and it just goes through like her career, and she really did a lot of great things. She started off in the Porter Wagner show and really made a career for herself. She's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Jolene, I Will Always Love You.
Yeah.
She's just really
she's a national treasure.
Yes, and she's also very kind. Which is comes out a lot in her work, but just really, really great. And you know, she's also like talking to a lot of different people as well. Code of Many Colors, very, you know, she's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Like I'm on, you know, on par with like that Willie Nelson shit. So
and clearly, like you said, one of the nicest, kindest people as well. So
right.
Onward, Lionel Richie, of course. I mean,
Yeah, Lionel Richie, cool. He's great. It's not my thing at all. I think it's my parents' wedding song, but like, who knows?
He was in the Commodores.
I think so.
I think it was the Commodores.
Lionel Richie is just not my thing at all. Like, hello, but like, cool. It's good. It's someone's cup of tea.
Time and place, though.
Time and place.
That's. I mean,
also, everybody loves that song, and I'm a hater on it, but everybody loves All Night Long. Great tune.
Yeah.
Carly Simon.
Do
you think it's because she got that doc? Didn't she just have a doc come out?
Did she?
Yeah. Carly Simon, I'm gonna say is like
She's no Joni Mitchell. But right on.
I think she should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't think she's that significant of an artist for me to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
The big song was just
Is You're So Vain for me.
But other than that, I will say this.
It might be a misgeneration thing with us.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, probably. Because I bet you, like, at the time, Carly Simon was, like, all over the radio. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we can't. My reference point starts in the 90s, so I can't really say.
Speaking of You're So Vain, if you do not know, Mick Jagger is singing in the chorus of that song. Very interesting.
Is he really?
Yes, he is. The man whose goat's head soup is right behind us.
Yes, stay tuned because that's coming after the break. Yeah, I mean, okay, and that was about James Taylor, wasn't it?
It might be. That's what some people have.
They speculate.
Have claimed. Some people think it's about Mick Jagger.
Interesting.
Yes. More interesting. Mick Jagger's rebuttal is very grossly, maybe, on this album behind us here.
All right. Well, we'll get into the weeds later.
Is it weedy?
Moving on. I think this is.
You can't move on past the Judas Priest.
No. I'm saying we'll end with Judas Priest because we're kind of running out of time for the first.
Oh yeah, Judas Priest
for the first half here.
The rest of the artists are more of like legacy artists.
Yeah.
I already talked about Elizabeth Cotton.
Elizabeth Cotton as well, and Harry Belafonte, of course. But we'll end off with Judas Priest because, it's rock and roll.
So Judas Priest is the leather band in metal. And for me, they're the band that, because they start off pretty bluesy, right?
Yeah.
For me, they're the band that takes the blues out of metal completely.
Yeah.
Like Sabbath and Deep Purple, we're getting there, but like you still have like Lazy on Machine Head is a blues.
And he would still. I feel like Ritchie Blackmore started the beginning of like bringing in that classical influence that you see on modern metal. But Judas Priest, they're just. They are metal.
First of all,
they are like authentically metal.
It's the look, which is one of my favorite things of all time. Is that heavy metal culture and style?
It's Rob Halford, man,
comes out of gay bar style and culture, like leather daddy culture, which is so cool on so many levels. The hyper masculinity, the leather, the motorcycles, all that stuff was like innovative with their image. It's just. British Steel is one of the greatest rock and roll albums ever.
Yeah.
All their albums after that, it's great singles.
Yeah. And they're one of those that's just kind of like, when you get that like first wave of like British heavy metal, I mean, it's like you have Iron Maiden and you have Judas Priest. Yeah. Like these are the bands, And Priest is just kind of so authentically their own thing too, which is great because it's like, when you have this contrast between them and like a Maiden, Maiden is like these crazy long epics, these historical reference points, there's all of this crazy stuff. And Judas Priest is just like bare bones. Yeah. Like, I'm your turbo lover. You know what I mean? And it's so good.
Electric Eye.
Electric Eye, that
also,
hellion into
we have to
Electric Eye.
speak of Rob Halford's amazing eagle soaring voice. Like, it's beautiful.
Let me tell you, man.
It's talented. It was used the way, like, he made, it's the heavy metal screech.
Yeah.
That's what he has. That's Rob Halford. Nope. Like, people were kind of doing, like, Ian Gillan did it, but it wasn't Rob Halford. Rob Halford did it with the precision where you're like...
Yeah, because even still, like, you watch the early Ian Gillan stuff, and he's kind of hamming it up a little bit. You know what I mean? He's kind of like, he's kind of slop jalop about it, whereas...
We're talking
Halford,
like Child in Time kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
It's cool. Like, Child in Time is cool, but, like, it's not, like...
It's not a laser like with Halford. It feels so dialed in.
Electric Eye, the
man.
That kind of stuff is just really.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I really love Judas Priest. I think they're like
my first real concert.
Like one of mine too. I saw them at Ozfest that year. They were just like Electric Eye. Like they come out. It's just really.
It comes
cool.
out of the eye.
The whole thing is amazing.
Yeah.
But just the whole look of heavy metal is them. So like I think they should have gotten it a long time ago. They're influential on the look and the style and
100%.
the way heavy metal's played.
Yeah.
The two guitar.
Yeah, the dueling guitar thing. The only band I can think of that was like doing anything quite like that was like
Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
And before that, oh man, I Wishbone Ash.
Oh, okay. Wishbone Ash.
Has-
There's really, really super early Scorpion stuff from the 70s.
That's that harmonized guitar.
That's kind of that harmonized guitar stuff too, yeah.
And that's like, that is so, the harmonized guitar is so heavy metal, and like not a lot of people were doing it. And it was like,
not the way that they were.
You would think like some people would like be into it before in like the 60s, like an innovation. Nobody was like really like innovating with that. Everybody was going like slide blues, and then like you do that and you start playing all the leads.
You kind of had like these designations, right, where there was the rhythm guitar player and the lead guitar player.
Right, and then you'd have two people now playing lead guitar.
Together. Oh,
ooh,
good save.
Murder your thirst.
Murder your thirst.
Liquid Death, give us money, please.
Yeah, please.
I'm drinking one on every one of these video episodes. It's not money I want. It's the Liquid Death I want.
Yeah, we just want the drink. I want the berry. What is it? There's like the names for them are ridiculous.
I do not know the flavor. I'm a sparkling water fan.
Yeah, I was talking to a coworker about it.
But
the other day. Anyway,
Judas
Priest, well deserved, I
band.
think. Great band. Check them out. Listen to them. British Steel, amazing. Rock and Rolla, not quite there. The first album,
yes,
because I'm a first album guy. And I was so excited to get that, and I was like, "Oh, this is not."
You are not into
It's
it.
good.
It's just not.
But it's just not realized. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't what we wanted.
The cake's not baked.
It's not baked yet. Yeah, no.
But
So anyway, there you have it.
There's your Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2022. We maybe have come to the conclusion on this podcast that it should be called the Pop Hall of Fame. I think we might have also come to that conclusion last year. Who knows?
Yeah,
you might. But like, I like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I think it's fun, and I think it's a cool museum to go see, and I'm into it. I'm not sipping
and
the Gatorade.
Jack Black and Kyle Kyle Gass were able to break into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to retrieve the Pick of Destiny as well.
Well, you could just say the greatest group of all time, Tenacious D.
Tenacious D.
My father took me to see that movie on Thanksgiving.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Nice.
I still have the movie ticket.
Cock push-ups. That was the whole thing.
I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, my dad didn't do anything to me.
Use the cock. No, I was not. Oh, my God, no.
I was like, what are you talking about?
All right, so anyway, moving on. There you have it, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dunzo. We wanted to cover a couple other things real quick. Did you want to go in
wherever you want? Take us next.
We can go in memoriam real quick. We can do a quick in memoriam.
Rest in peace to the real Stinky Pete, Stinky Joe, whatever. Stumpy
Joe Peeps. Ric Parnell, the This Is Spinal Tap drummer.
Yeah, the guy who plays him in the movie.
Died at 70. Yes.
There, when you see like Spinal Tap on stage, right?
He's the one. Yeah, he's the guy. He's like the current drummer with like the lineup that they're documenting.
Oh, I thought he was like the original guy in the movie.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean though. Is that he's the guy? But it's not big because they run through all the previous drummers.
Yes,
and that one dude.
He's the guy who's currently in the band with them. Well, yes, I get what you're saying.
Who's the guy? Stanley Sitwell. What's that actor's name?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
You know what I want.
But yeah, so we love This Was Spinal Tap is one of the great rock and roll movies of all time. It's a mockumentary. Yeah.
It's like the
Rob Reiner's in it.
It's the pre Dewey Cox masterpiece.
Yes, it's the proto Dewey Cox.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a good movie. I saw this online the other day, and I just wanted to shout out the rest in peace because during what is that scene? The sweeter the cushion. What's the name of that song? Oh, I can't remember.
You know what? Is that Big Bottoms?
Yeah, Big Bottoms.
Yeah.
Big Bottoms.
Big Bottoms.
The drummer in that scene where he's playing like all toms for dum, 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 dum.
So,
it keeps going.
Yeah, it's so absurd, and they're all playing basses.
They're all playing basses. It's a great movie, but shout out, rest in peace. We just wanted to shout out one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Yes, here. Our condolences to the Parnell estate.
And every drummer who came before him.
Yes, Stumpy Joe, Stumpy Joe, Peeps.
You can't dust for vomit.
You can't dust for vomit. He died there was a flash of green light. This little green globule was left on the drum throne. So real quick to wrap up the first half, and then we're going to get into the weeds with the Stones. So Garth Brooks.
Garth. If you're a fan of your Mom's House podcast, you know where it's at, and I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah. Garth Brooks. So it was in the news recently. Garth Brooks played a show.
Yeah. At
LSU's Tiger Stadium. Over 100,000 fans danced and sang so hard, a seismograph on campus registered a small earthquake. Who would have knew?
The video? Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't watch the video.
Incredible.
Really?
He screams like Louisiana, like in the lyric.
Louisiana.
Girl from Louisiana. And the whole crowd screams Louisiana. And it's like, whoa, I don't understand how the band hears themselves.
It's that loud.
It's that loud.
It's
every multiple cell phone video I found on YouTube and whatever, it was just like you could barely hear the band in the stadium. He's playing in the round too. So it's 360 speakers.
Oh
it's not like it's straight out. Like when I saw the Stones, it was a straight out like that kind of thing. No, he was in the round in the stadium. So the whole middle of the stadium is full, and the whole outside of the stadium is full. It was one of the most incredible things I've ever,
Madness.
But
yeah, and I think there is somebody had tweeted about it and stuff. I'll put the graph up in a graphic up here somewhere so you can actually see. You can see when the song starts and like the seismograph graph itself is just like whoa, like it just expands.
That would be good to see.
Yeah.
Also we're gonna link a video of it.
Yeah, we'll link it in the description box.
So you can see what it is. But amazing. Also down in Baton Rouge, he's playing it in Louisiana. The whole vibe of the place was amazing. And then I watched a video too, and I was like, shit, dude, Garth Brooks is still a great performer.
Yeah,
dude, he's just into it. Everybody's having a great time.
Yeah.
I can't lie, guys. I'm a Garth Brooks fan. Dude, he's got the hits for days, and his fans caused a earthquake, which is
for Garth Brooks is pretty good.
It's amazing. I mean, in the days of the stadium shows, you feel like people are disconnected. It felt like everybody in that stadium was connected, which is something if you can make a stadium feel like it's one big family during a song, that's an amazing
I mean, and really think about it, right? Okay, so the first album came out in 1989.
Yep.
He's been making albums until present. Well, 2020 was the last
until Chris Gaines.
Until Chris Gaines. Well, Chris Gaines
he had the
was
comeback.
in 99.
He had a comeback after that, but
listen to this back to back though. 99, Garth Brooks in The Life of Chris Gaines, and then Garth Brooks and The Magic of Christmas. In the same year, he drops.
It's backup plan.
But yeah, I think this is one of those things too, because Garth Brooks, if you think about it, you look at his career. I mean, basically, all right, the first album '89, but
the crazy thing
early
is,
'90s, which was the soundtrack to.
What I think you're saying is, his Garth Brooks is still at the top of his game, and he's not even really releasing active music, right? And he's killing it.
Not really. '99, the Christmas and the Chris Gaines, 2001, and then nothing until 2014.
That's what I'm saying.
And then another Christmas album in 2016 with Trisha Yearwood.
Safe.
Gunslinger in 2016, and then Fun in 2020.
Yeah, so he's releasing albums every couple of years, but he's selling out stadiums.
Yeah.
He's at the top of his game.
But if you look at his early career, 89, 90, 91, 92, 92, 93, 95, 97.
Different music industry.
Yeah.
On the come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people were actually buying music then too.
But if you
that's what I meant by that.
Yeah, but if you think about it too, it's just that, Garth Brooks is whether you like him or not, or whether it's your kind of music or it's not, the dude, he's a pop country idol, if you want to call it that. You know what I'm saying? That dude,
great. I mean,
super successful, Grammy Award winning.
Can you imagine being in the stadium? It was so loud. So.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool. So there you have it, Garth Brooks. Check it out. We'll link it so that way you can watch the video.
We will link it.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break.
I wanted to shout out one more thing real fast before we go on break. I just wanted to shout out. I know I try to do bands I'm interested in when they come out with new albums.
Yes.
I just wanted to. I know I shouted out Ty Segall's new single. Wilco have announced Cool Country, and it's a follow-up to their 2019 album. So I just wanted to...
Has a single been released yet, or it's just an album announcement?
I believe one single has been released. And yeah, so I just wanted to shout that out, and it's coming out at the end of the month. That's going to be Cool Country from the band Wilco.
Cool Country is the name of the album?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I enjoyed their last album, Ode to Joy, quite a bit. It was pretty low-key. They said this one's going to be more of a country vibe, so I just wanted to keep people up on that and be on the lookout if you're interested in it, and if you're, we'll talk about it when it comes out.
Did they give a specific release date?
I think,
or just like, it's coming soon?
I think it's at the 27th, 5/27.
So the 27th of May.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll have to do a album review when that comes out. All right, cool. Well, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we are going to talk about the Rolling Stones.
Paint it black, you devil.
Rolling Stones. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Luke, here's looking at you and Murder and Thirst.
Murder.
Welcome back to Get in the Garage, the music podcast.
For music lovers. Sorry, I couldn't get my
no,
I
that's
couldn't get
okay.
the ending out.
It's okay. Real quick, before we get into it with the main topic that we're going to discuss here, we want to give a quick shout out to our man Master P and the Rap Snacks. Also, shout out to our man Philip Lombardo, who stay posted because we got a special thing planned with.
Yeah, we're gonna follow up our
Phil.
episode we did with Phil, which was entitled "Rap Snacks."
Yes.
Please check that out. It's an audio-only episode. It's before we switch over to video.
Yes, but we will have Philip on full video.
Yeah, we're gonna get down. We think we're gonna cover some DMX, so that's gonna be pretty exciting. I don't know anything about DMX, so I'm gonna play the role of interested interviewer and learner.
Yeah,
so
and
it'll be fun. So if you don't really know about DMX either, it'll be a good time.
Yeah, and I would also say too that if you have between now and I think it's either next week we're gonna try to shoot for with him or the following week.
Yeah, watch the HBO documentary.
I watched it last night, and it is heavy.
Heavy.
Oof.
But
it is heavy.
So disclaimer.
As DMX would say, what is it? It's dark and hell is hot. Rest in peace, DMX. He gonna give it to you.
Right now, we're gonna give you some Rolling Stones.
Yes, right. So
the greatest rock and roll band of all time.
So the thing that sparked interest in going for
My
this
opinion.
was also my opinion. I share this opinion with you as well. Was that Luke? You just picked up this box set in celebration of the soup.
Yes. I'm gonna be straight up, guys. It was tax day.
Yeah.
And I'm also a heavy supporter of my local record stores. Don't get fooled.
Yeah.
But I saw this deal on Amazon when I was buying a printer. And this box set retails for like, I think when it came out it was like 120 something.
Yeah.
This was on sale for like $60. So I bought.
You hopped on it, man. It's okay.
Goat's Head Soup 2020 box set. This came out September 4th of 2020. Here we go. It's in a gray box. So, pretty much like I'm gonna give you, since I got this in celebration of me doing my taxes. What we're kind of gonna do here is give you a little bit of a little review of the box set. What's on it, what's in it, all that cool stuff, and then we're gonna talk about the album and what we feel about it, and
because this album is special in its own way. The box
it's-
set, I should say,
yeah.
and the album itself. But
it's it's a kind of like a hot button Stones record. So we'll get into all of that. So let's start off with the box itself. It's kind of understated, gray, kind of plain, right?
I think aesthetically it's nice.
Aesthetically, it's pleasing. I kind of wish it said the Rolling Stones somewhere on it.
Ooh, yeah, maybe in like some gold leafy kind of.
Yes. So, but the box is pretty cool. I do like the picture's nice. So we're gonna open it up here, right? And then it comes with the new mix of the album done by Can you look up Giles Martin? Is it Giles Martin? The Sun.
Let's see.
So we'll figure that out. Actually, it's probably on this piece of paper right here. But it comes with the original, not the original album. It comes with the remixed Goat's Head Soup album, which is one of these right here. It's this one. And it comes in the gatefold, and you have all of them in there. And it's 2 discs, and the second disc has some outtakes some B-sides, and then what I think is strangely some original mixes from the original album. I would have rather had like other stuff on there, not that, because I obviously already own the original album. Probably most people do that bought this, so why would you kind of want that? But and some instrumental takes on the other disc. But so it comes with that, and then what I really got this box set for is right behind Michael. Is the Brussels Affair, the Live in 1973, the tour that accompanied this album release of Europe, and it has a set of great songs and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so that's that, and that's really why I got this box set. So
I knocked over the nun.
We'll be having none of that.
We'll just be we'll put this up here for now.
Yeah, so that's so, like what's in there. So,
and can I just say as well that what I did really enjoy was it kind of like rekindled my interest in this record because like I'm a Sticky Fingers guy like through and through, and I do love me some Exile on Main Street. But Goat's Head Soup was one that I remember buying, and I was like, I bought it and it like sat on the shelf for a little while, and then I gave it a spin, and then I haven't really listened to it since.
Right.
So this was a fun thing to listen to for me too, like to kind of like look back on it and be like, oh yeah, because the Stones' body of work is so huge.
Right. I think this is their 11th album, if I'm not wrong.
73.
So this record comes after what we would classify, and most music nerds would classify as the Stones' classic period. We've talked about Stevie Wonder's classic period on this show.
Yep.
Starting with Music in My Mind and ending with Songs in the Key of Life. The Rolling Stones' classic period would start with Beggar's Banquet in 68, 69's Let It Bleed, 71's Sticky Fingers, 72 is Exile on Main Street, and then 1973 is where people consider this the break of the classic streak, was released Goat's Head Soup, and people don't think this is a perfect album.
This is the last one with Mick Taylor, correct?
Nope, that would be It's Only Rock and Roll, but this is pretty much like
it's like kind of fizzing out at this point.
The last full flavor of Mick Taylor. So
yeah, I got you. Okay. Also, this is the 11th British and the 13th American studio album.
There you go. But yeah, so like let's talk Goat's Head Soup for a minute. So we talked about the classical period. Goat's Head Soup is what people consider the break. I think it has some more danceable tracks, some poppier tracks. I don't necessarily think it's I don't necessarily think any of the songs are particularly worse than like the second half of like Exile on Main Street.
Because Exile on Main Street's a hefty boy, man. That's a big album,
right? And like that, people are like
stuff gets lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? Not to cut you off, but like that's how I felt with Exile.
That is how I also feel with Exile. Exile has great songs on the B side. I feel like this record was just like a change up completely. It's kind of like a back to basics record. As much as like everybody says that like Exile on Main Street is the back to base, it's like a basic rock and roll record. There's a lot of different flavors on there. Like it has a whole like acoustic side. The second side is all acoustic pretty much, starting with Sweet Virginia, Love and Cup, Sweet Black Angel, Torn and Frayed.
Yep.
Like that kind of stuff, and it has the acoustic stuff, and then it has like the blues, really bluesier stuff, and even like the the beginning is like has like the Slim Harpo cover, but so it is really rock and rolly. But this album seems more like groovy to me, and like it was obviously more concise. I thought this one was definitely more groove oriented and like dance thought about. Like let's take the opening track,
Dancing with Mr. D,
or not the opening track, I'm so sorry, Heartbreaker.
Okay, yeah,
the one. So like Heartbreaker for me is a more dancier song. Heartbreaker, like that kind of stuff. Even Dancing with Mr. D is more of like that. It is slinky and stonesy, but it's more of like the dancing. More chorus heavy. Like I feel like a lot
Foot stomper.
Yes.
Like
so the second half of this album for me might be the contention of where it gets a little more soupy.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
The song Angie.
So also
like
big Stones contention. forever has been Angie.
Yeah, because I did.
It's
but I'll
people
say this.
love it or hate it.
Right, and I was team hater for a while, but now going back and like re-listening to it, and I think because they also play it on the live. Yeah,
they definitely do. If you look, I think this is Jagger's notes on the back. It says on Angie, it says best Angie.
Does it?
Where is it? Yep, right
Angie,
there.
yeah.
Angie, best Angie.
Best Angie.
Yeah, and you like highlighted it. Did you see the song in a new light live? I think it's way better live.
I did, yeah, and
I think the recording falls a little.
But what I'm
saying,
but that's what I found interesting was kind of like because like when I first revisited this, I was like, all right, let me listen to the live thing first. To just get me back in it, you know what I mean? Because the live, it's got some hits. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, this is also good because we're also going to talk about we're talking about this box set too. So like, what did you feel about this live set on here? Because I feel like this is the main package on this.
This is my thing, man. Okay, and I'm speaking to all the guitar nerds out there, but it's like, yo, if you're gonna say Peter Green, if you're gonna say Eric Clapton, if you're going to say Jimmy Page, if you're going to say Richie Blackmore, if you're going to say
Mick Taylor rips all over
you have
this.
to say Mick fucking Taylor, dude.
He makes the Stones
shits all over this thing, and I mean in the best way possible. And doing it on an SG, which is great too, because I love the fact that he was an SG guy. He wasn't really like a Les Paul guy, and all those sort of like iconic blues greats dudes who played with John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, because Mick Taylor played with John Mayall for a hot second, I think, post Peter Green. They were all the Les Paul guys, you know what I mean? So for Mick Taylor to come out and rock the SG the way that he did, I don't know 100% that he played an SG on this specific, but really the only other person I could think of that was rocking an SG sort of like in that way at that time was probably Dickie Betts with the Allman Brothers. He would sport an SG every here and there. Like every once in a while, he was kind of heavy Les Paul too.
I think Tony Iommi.
Tony Iommi, right. Originally a blues guitar player, so you can't really like totally rule him out. But he was of the era.
Mick Taylor is for me, it's the second song. It's
Give Me Shelter.
Give Me Shelter. He rips so hard on Give Me Shelter on this live set.
Man, he's just all over.
The solo
this thing,
is kicking. Even like in the verses, he's like on fire. He's like playing very charged up.
Yeah,
I like this live set too. It's really heavy. It's got like the two long pieces that go together in the middle of Midnight Rambler and you Can't Always Get What You Want.
Yeah, they come out super, super strong.
Yeah, and then it gets like stupid mellow on Midnight Rambler, and You Can't Always Get What You Want. Like it gets like it's rocking. Like Midnight Rambler is like pretty like a rockin' mellow, but
then it starts picking back up. Honky Tonk Woman things start kind of getting.
Yeah, and then it steams back up on like this like almost like amphetamine fueled like charge to the end.
Hold on, it's cocaine fueled charge.
I was trying to be polite about it.
No, it's okay.
I mean,
we've already talked about Aerosmith. We can openly talk about cocaine now.
Yeah. So and this tour would be very infamous for that.
1973, man.
Yeah. So this live set though is amazing. Mick Taylor rips all over it. This is one of the best. Like it's like. Kind of like it's just a great Stone set. It's really good. Also, to be noted, like two of these songs are from like a different set. Like there's a late show and an early show. Brown Sugar is from I think one of the earlier shows, and I think the rest of the set is from like the late show, and I think maybe You Can't Always Get is from the other one. But it sounds cohesive. Also, you noted to me that you loved hearing Mick Jagger speak. French. He's like, individuals and happy.
Yeah, you're like, all right, Mick, take it easy.
It's pretty cool. He does it in like every country. Do you ever see that?
Oh, did you see the Cuban one?
Yeah, he does it.
He's like, "Como está usted?" or whatever he says, and you're just like, whoa, all right. But only Mick Jagger, I guess, could do it.
He's a great frontman, man.
He's a good frontman. But yeah, Star, amazing.
Oh.
Like I said, Angie just brought me back to kind of like maybe re-falling in love with this song because there's, you get that from a lot of rock bands that you listen to. You know what I mean? Where there's like some kind of snoozers, but like all of a sudden you're like, this song though.
Angie I think is always been like a great Stone song. I think like the arrangement on the album is a little stiff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, like Star, which is I can't, which is we're being polite, but the song is called "Brace Your Ears, Children." It's called Starfucker.
Yes,
so,
trigger warning.
But that song like that's where we're getting like content. Like that's where it's like,
Do people really not like that tune?
It's like
or is it like a divider kind of thing, like with Stones fans?
I think it's like I don't think they play it anymore. They definitely played it when they wrote it. Their record company was not happy about it. The song's about groupies.
Yeah.
Of the act of doing what the song's name is. It's very vulgar. Some people think it's about one of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. So
interesting.
That's like a rumor about it.
Yeah.
The song, they were very adamant. They wanted it released as a single, if you believe that or not.
Whoa.
And I think it's on the B side of.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could have sworn that I had. I think it's on the
B side
on a 45. I can't remember.
Well, we're gonna look it up here.
All right,
but it definitely is on the B side of something.
Yeah, but like I said, man, it's just like the Stones, it's just one of those bands, like, I find that, like, because I feel like in the beginning, maybe, of course I don't know because my reference point and so on, but, it's like Beatles or Stones, you know what I mean? Like, this, like, who was Team Beatles, who was Team Stones?
It's on the B side of Do, Heartbreaker.
Oh, okay. I think I have that 45, actually.
I think you do as well.
I lost my train of thought. Crap. Oh, yeah, no, you were like
Beatles or Stones, but
yeah, Beatles. But it's just like, I don't know, because I found people like, what's interesting is like I find that people who don't like the Stones, like vehemently or like very clearly like, I hate this band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's either that, like, I find you either catch it or you don't. Like, you catch the Stones bug, and I wasn't huge into the Stones early
this is
on.
why
You were the one who turned me on to the Stones.
That's why I think a lot of people don't, because everybody's always, what you're trying, I think you're like kind of alluding to is like people are saying like, I didn't mean to say like what you were trying to say, but what you were alluding to, your like Beatles and your Stones thing is like the Stones are like, the Beatles are like at their core pop group, and at the core of what the Rolling Stones are is a rock and roll group. They are not a pop group; they're a rock and roll group.
Yeah.
That's the difference. They're the greatest rock and roll band of all time, not the greatest pop group of all time.
No,
like even at that, like Angie is like you hear on the album, and you're like on Goat's Head Soup, and you're like it doesn't really work as well as like a lot of the acoustic side on
Exile.
Yeah. But then you hear it live in the more laid back arrangement. It's not so stiff. It's not in the studio. Way better. Yeah. Also, Exile Main Street was recorded mostly in a chateau basement. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's the vibe of this was also a lot of this album was done. Goat's Head Soup was done in Kingston, Jamaica, believe it or not, which you think would also be more laid back. But I think the Stones were on the run. They were on tax evasion a lot in the 70s. There's a lot of drugs going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of running here, running there. There's a lot of law. And for me, I think this album could have been great. I think and I feel like the remix didn't super save it, but it does have great songs on it. I just feel like it's a little muddled and could have like some greater songs on it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing is like if you look at if you okay, obviously you have a lot of preceding albums, right? But if you started at like Let It Bleed or even Beggar's Banquet, you know what I mean? But it's like Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, Exile on Main Street. Like those are like huge Stones albums. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think there's a point when you're a band like this where it's just like, you like this saying, it's a tough act to follow. Like you become the tough act to follow. Well, you know what I mean? You become your own tough act to follow. So like, what do you do? How does that happen?
And as you say that too, a lot of critics say this is the album when the Rolling Stones became the Rolling Stones. Like they made a Rolling Stones album. This is the first album where the Rolling Stones made a Rolling Stones album. And it kind of feels like that. I forget who said that. Famous Lester Bangs also said there was like a profound kind of sadness about this record, where it sounded like happy sad kind of thing, where you're putting on like that thing. So there's maybe a lot of that going on too. I was trying to kind of pick that out.
And
it's got that like the B side has those kind of like drony. It kind of gets a little drony for me on the B side. Like there's not a lot of like where like Heartbreaker has that great standout chorus.
Where does side 2 start? Silver Train?
Yeah.
So Silver Train, Hide Your Love, Winter.
Silver Train's a good song. I liked it, but like to stand it out, you know what I mean? It's not side 2 is Sticky Fingers, which is Bitch.
Yeah, right.
You know what
side
I mean?
2 comes in hard hitting.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing you have to think of.
Side 2 of Exile is Sweet Virginia, one of the best Stone songs ever.
But it's interesting too. Like if you think about it, right? Like to kind of like tie it into big picture, if we're talking, like the way that albums were constructed. Because that's the thing, right? Is if you listen to this album while you're streaming it, it doesn't necessarily have as much of an impact on you what the first song of side 2 is until you listen to it on an album, and why that is a significant thing, and how.
Oh, the break in an album is the break. Is the intermission. It's when you get up to take a piss. It's when you go and get a drink. Mm-hmm. It's when you smoke a cigarette. It's like whatever, and then you come back and you flip it.
Yeah.
And then you get it's a new mood.
Right.
Right. And it can be done to great effect. It can be done to terrible effect, or to no effect and no thought at all. But it can be done to great thought.
Yeah.
It's, side one of Sticky Fingers is Brown Sugar. And side 2 is Bitch.
Yeah. Just coming in.
They're both stupid hot rockers. Like this song is good, and then like the second song,
Hide Your Love. Yeah. Is the next tune.
I mean, it's just for me, it just doesn't have the consistent,
Yeah, because I mean, aside from Star Star ending it, see maybe Star Star would have been a better side 2 opener.
But even to that, man, like
But what's your closer?
But even to that, this is the other thing too. Like it's a song about groupies.
Yeah.
It's a song about what it is, and people still do this today. You know, I mean, like I'm not gonna like act like it's not a thing. But like, has the song aged super well?
No.
Right, because
of course not.
Because it's frowned upon for rock stars to do it now.
Yeah, right.
Right, and to engage in it on any level almost.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it still happens a lot, but like it wouldn't be something you write a song about.
Yeah, right. It's something. Yeah, right. Because this is like in a braggadocio way, sort of being like.
Yeah, it's like I'm the star.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it's
very.
It's
misogynistic.
Yeah.
Really.
Also, there's that gross, I don't like saying the word because it doesn't roll off my tongue very well. But the P word in there. Did you hear the edit on that?
No.
Because I think they unedited it out. But my vinyl copy, when he says the word pussy,
oh my god! This one. It's we need trigger alerts all over this one. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you.
I'm just saying it never sounds.
I know what you mean.
Never sounds good when I say it.
It's kind of an icky word. I don't know. I don't like that word anyway.
It's not a word. It's not.
But anyway,
he uses it in the
Jagger
song.
did.
And they try to edit over it, but by doing it, they almost bring just more prominence to the fact that he says it. So you're like, what? And even in the chorus on my copy there, it's the chorus is edited low, so it might kind of sound like he's saying "Star, you're a star, you're a star," because the song is titled "Star, Star."
Yeah.
But if you have a set of working ears.
Yeah.
If you have a working mouth. If you have a set of working ears, you can clearly see what the song's about. But yeah, that's the other thing too. The song super kind of hasn't aged well in that manner, I think. It's a song I enjoy listening to though. You know what I mean? It's not like whatever. I can, but it's the Rolling Stones. It's one of the most debaucherous rock and roll songs of all time. It's the album ender.
Yeah.
I think it's the Stones in complete excess of themselves.
Oh yeah.
And that's maybe why the album doesn't come out as strong. And that's the thing. I think the album is in excess of itself a little bit. It's not maybe as soulful as we would have liked the Rolling Stones to be.
Yes, but
saying that, it's an album I enjoy a ton. It's a really good album. It's one I definitely think you should listen to.
Yeah.
I think it's way better than It's Only Rock and Roll by miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
Like Who territory there.
Yeah.
If you picked up on that reference, congratulations.
Miles. Yeah.
So I think it's Miles, and I think it's the last great Mick Taylor record for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's the last great record before Some Girls in '78, I believe. So that's for me where it's at.
So if we were gonna go, just for funsies here,
before can you hold this thought really fast? Yes. Before we go with this next thought here, I just want to say the box set is good for $60. I would never pay $120 for this. I don't think it's worth it. There's no book that comes with it. There's no like great liner notes. The second disc of B-sides seems almost like they were trying to throw something together. You have that Scarlet song with Jimmy Page, which is cool, but it
Do we
seems
need it?
yeah is the real question. I really did buy this for that live set, which for $60 is almost worth it alone. The new mix is cool. The new album, if you don't own it, this is a great set. And for that, but like if I'm giving it a letter grade, I'd give it a C. It's just not below in my mind Van Morrison style.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So back to funsies, right? So if you were gonna rank maybe like your own personal, not to make it too heavy, but if we're gonna go like Let It Bleed to It's Only Rock and Roll. So Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, Exile, Goat's Head Soup, It's Only Rock and Roll. How would you rank those? I would assume It's Only Rock and Roll is probably like the 5.
Yeah, like the worst. That's probably the worst one. And then Goat's Head.
Yeah.
Right? And then my favorite is probably
Sticky
Fingers, and then Beggar's Banquet probably, and then Let It Bleed, and then Exile.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Exile's Exile would be number 2, and then
Beggar's Banquet's between before
guys.
Let It Bleed, but that's okay because it's still it's 68, but
I see like even for me because like I listened to Beggar's Banquet like a ton this week, and I'm like, and then I was listening to Beggar's Banquet, then this, then Beggar's Banquet, then this, then Beggar's Banquet, then this. Because I'm like, Beggar's Banquet has, some big songs. It has Sympathy for the Devil.
Yep.
But like, and it has Street Fighting Man, but it also has like
Stray Cat Blues.
Yeah, which is a big Stone song. There's great
Parachute
songs
Woman,
on it.
Jigsaw Puzzle, Dear Doctor, No Expectations, Factory Girl, Salt of the Earth,
But like Salt of the Earth, they're not playing all the time.
Prodigal Son,
they're not playing all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it has some like they're big albums because they're great albums. But like I was like trying to be like, what's the difference? Because like these aren't like super well known Stone songs.
Yeah.
There are some on there, but like there's a lot that's like that's
if we're
lesser.
So if we're sitting here taking a look at Beggar's Banquet, right?
Right.
And you're kind of making this mental sort of comparison with that
I
and
was
Goat's
trying to
Head
figure
Soup.
out what the difference was between the records.
But maybe it's like would you go as far to say is I am a novice when it comes to the Stones, so I'm asking you as someone who's more informed. Would you say that Beggar's Banquet is the Goat's Head Soup of the Brian Jones era?
No.
No.
Beggar's
Okay.
Banquet is the kickoff. Is like the kickoff of the classic. It's just
It's the beginning.
It's the beginning.
Because even
it's the
Satanic
beginning of-
Majesty's Request,
this is-
I didn't
this
connect with
is-
that album very much.
No, that album is like it's psychedelic and
Yeah.
it's not a really great rock and roll record.
Right.
Like where the rest of those albums are really great rock and roll records.
Yeah.
And they're very soulful. Where this album is a little bit hollowy when it has not musically anything to do with Satanic Majesties, but maybe like soulfully something to do with that. It kind of sounds like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
There's good stuff on this, like on Goat's Head. It's just you feel the shift of the band changing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the band gets back on track with Some Girls. Some Girls for me is a classic Stones record.
Yeah, I feel like when Ronnie Wood comes in the picture,
That's
things are kind of like, oh, okay, this is okay now.
For me, that's the only classic Ronnie Wood record. I think that's from. Oh well,
Yeah,
actually,
I mean, Tattoo You.
Tattoo You's okay.
Tattoo You's okay.
But for me, Tattoo You's not Some Girls. Some Girls is like an attitude.
Yeah.
Some Girls is like New York City.
Yeah.
It's like new wavy. It's like.
But it feels fresh
aggressive.
after.
It's like aggressive and kind of mean.
Yeah.
It's definitely me.
But it's 78. It's not quite 80s Stones yet.
And it has that great. Oh my god, I love that song. The country song.
Which one is that one?
If you're lost, where he's like, I gave them money on the radio, and they gave me I gave them $10. They say my prayer on the radio.
Whoa, yeah. Crap.
The Girl Far Away Eyes is the name of that song.
Far Away Eyes.
Yeah. But like I love that tune on there. But like for me, that for me is the last gasp of like great Stones. Like for me, that's a great Stones record, but that's the last one.
Yeah.
Like Tattoo You's good. close to being like amazingly. But for me, it's just like it doesn't have the same vibe as
some girls.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I would say Tattoo You is more on par with how I feel about Goat's Head Soup.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's, for me, again, another end of the era. Like, the Stones never come back in the 80s. They never come back in the 90s and make a great album. They never, For me, they never make a classic album again.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you have it, folks.
My opinions, not everybody's opinions. And I'm also not saying I don't like some of the songs in those later albums either. So I do like some of that stuff.
Yeah, because I think there's hits, but what you're saying is front to back an album.
My classic album is The Dark Side of the Moon on everyone's T-shirt. That's that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah.
Right on. Well, there you have it.
That was us doing the Rolling Stones. We talked about Goat's Head Soup. We talked about this box set.
Check it out. Also, I would go as far to say
this is also on Spotify. This whole box set and this live set.
Yes, you can stream it on. I think it's on streaming. I think it's on all streaming platforms.
Yeah, so don't think this is like an elitist vinyl only thing. Anybody can listen to this.
Yeah, and I would also just say I was thinking about it earlier, just as like before we wrap up, is that I think that the live record would be a good standalone, just live album release.
It was released before this box set. This was a standalone release in 2011.
Okay.
And this is like the cheapest way to get it on vinyl. Is now
you just get the box set
in this box set because it's out of print now.
I got you. Okay.
So this is like the cheapest way to get it. It was back in print, and it was the reason why a lot of people bought this otherwise rather lackluster box set.
Yeah.
Before we go to audio quality on the box set, it sounds great. It's a great sounding record. So
yeah.
No
I only streamed it digitally, but everything sounded good. Yeah, on my end. Even the live album, the live stuff sounded good. It was recorded well. All that stuff. And if you can't get a hold of this album, vinyl record, if you're like, say, an early collector or something like that, Get Your Yayas Out is also a phenomenal live Stones. So if you're looking for live Stones records that are maybe more, maybe more easily accessible, attainable, know, like if you don't have the $60 to go and buy, go to your local record store, man. You could probably find one between $12 and $15 or something. Not even, maybe. Yeah. I think my copy I found on like a $3 bin because it was. I
remember the copy you bought.
Do you?
Yeah, I your copy of Get Your Yayas Out you got in the back barn at Mansfield Flea Market. It was sitting in like a rack like that, and I was like, you should buy that record.
Yeah.
And you went, yeah, and I was like, how much for that record? And you were like, $3. And I was like, all right, yeah.
Definitely worth a listen. Also, if you have that guy, listen to that guy, because there was plenty of times where he was being that guy and I didn't buy the record. Now I kick myself in the ass for not buying. There was one Zeppelin at the Blueberry Hill vinyl I found at one time at Manchester, and you're like, oh man, you should get that record. And I was like, I don't know, but to be fair, it was like $35.
Oh, you should have bought that. That's pretty cheap for a bootleg.
Yeah. I don't know.
Bummer summer, guys.
Anyway. This has been Get in the Garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Awaken the primordial beast, the algorithm, so it knows that we exist. Also
continue.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, drop us a comment or a review on Apple Podcast app if you have that, or anywhere else where you can rate.
Or comment, if you're on YouTube, comment. I was going to say, if you think this is like the break of the classic Stones, comment. If you think it, I want to hear, I would like to see people's... if you think this is like a classic break or not, because some people do, some people don't. Interesting to have the conversation, and it will awaken the primordial algorithm, like Mike likes to say.
I'm summoning.
We're summoning the algorithm, and and if you like the show, tell your friends.
Spread the word. Because we love talking about stuff.
We have an Instagram account, too. Get in the Garage on Instagram. I'm Julius Spins Records on Instagram.
And I am the Bearded Morrison.
Sorry if you got hacked, guys.
Oh, yeah. Also, quick disclaimer. Luke's Instagram got hacked. So he's not trying to exchange numbers with you, and he's not trying to sell you Bitcoin.
Yeah, my account is Julius Spins Records.
Julius Spins Records. Yeah, we should have put that at the top. Maybe we can do a quick thing in the beginning.
We talked about it last week, too.
Oh, we did?
I think so.
Maybe we did, yeah.
Anyway,
I've been Mike.
I've been Luke. Michael, why don't you throw some coal on that fire and get this train out of here?
This has been a presentation from the Wasted Robot Network. For more information, and links to other shows, please visit www.wastedrobotrecords.com/podcasts.